Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Extreme Mediocrity Sports Show. I'm Koby. We got Mike with me. What are we all getting into today, man?
Man, you know we getting into, man.
I believe
I'm
there
eat,
was
I'm eating crow, man.
was
I'm
it
eating
a
crow.
Thursday night football game with the Commanders and Packers, maybe?
Hey, man. I I tried to stand on business, man. I tried to go for the home team, and we looked horrible on Thursday night, man. We looked horrible.
But I mean, to be fair, the way that defense runs right now, they're uh, they're going to make a lot of teams probably look like that.
Yeah, man. Let me get into this game a little bit. Oh man. So yeah, Commanders, 18, Packers, threw a couple S on that 'cause I was too pissed off. 27, man. So Jaden Daniels, 24-42. He looked uncomfortable in the game and in the pocket for the entire game. Micah, had his mind in a chokehold. Was just throwing like little short dump passes, wasn't really scanning the field. Had a couple players open downfield, but just wasn't comfortable throwing it to him. And he couldn't rush for the ball either. Um, yeah, so I don't even want to even go into detail. We looked
Nah.
horrible. I mean, uh, Packers, they show why they're an elite team. They were good in all facets of the game. Jordan Love, he did what he was supposed to do. Nothing, crazy spectacular, but he did, make some efficient throws down the field when he had to. They got their running game going. And Kraft, he had a career game, 6 receptions, 124 yards. So that yards was a career high. Threw in a touchdown too. So they did what they were supposed to do.
Yeah.
And I mean, just looking back at what was supposed to be our keys to victory, our keys to the game, we didn't do any of the things that we should have done to win this game. Josh Connolly looked inept, looked like a rookie against Parsons. We tried to help him out, but I mean, even with help, it was a man amongst boys on that right side. We couldn't establish the run at all. I think we maybe had 60 or 70 total yards rushing. Couldn't apply any pressure on Jordan Love, and third down conversions, we were 5 of 16. So just a bad game overall. Yeah, man, it was
So
rough. It was rough for us.
yeah, I watched the first half, and obviously the thing that stood out the most to me was just the impact of Micah Parsons. Uh, he's just he's just one of those players that is just if he's on the field, if he and if he's not making the play himself, he's disrupting it in some way. And you mentioned how Jordan Love didn't really do anything crazy or stand out, but they did enough to win. Are there any concerns like with the Commanders defense going forward about like being able to stop like a better offensive team?
Um, yeah, I mean, I think this game showed a lot. And what didn't help us was the injuries that we came out with after this game. I know Dietrich Wise, we lost him for the season. Then on offense, we lost our third down running back, Eckler. He's out for the season with a torn right Achilles. So it really showed that our defense isn't where it should be, but the defense was able to at least keep us in the game. I think this was a reflection of our offensive line. Definitely, we're showing that we're missing Sam Cosmi, our right guard. He's a Pro Bowl right guard. If we had him in the game, I'm sure that he would have been able to better help Josh Connolly on that right side. But we already have your starting right guard out on injury. It's already kind of, and then you have a rookie right tackle. Because
Yeah.
on the left side we were good, so it seemed like a lot of the rushers were coming on that right side because they knew they were going up against that rookie. So it, I think that's the biggest question that we have is on offensive line, because if Jaden doesn't have time to throw and we
Yeah.
can't establish the run, it'll be tough against anybody. But especially, I mean, this is probably the one of the best defensive teams
Oh,
want to be in the league this year. So
yeah.
anything, I'm glad we got them out the way early because we'll have to.
Well, well, you can see where they're headed next. So
Yeah, yeah. Well, hopefully, you guys watch that game and learn a thing or two from us because Micah is coming.
yeah,
Pause.
yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that was a tough game for us, but we'll bounce back. We got 10 days off to get ourselves right, so we will hopefully bounce back. All right. So, and before we get into our picks, we can go over our picks that we had from last week. I believe we tied with our picks last week on 8-6.
Yeah, we know a little bit of ball. I mean, it wasn't,
Hmm.
we weren't right in an overwhelming fashion, but hey, 8 out of 6, week one of the season, you don't
Hmm.
know what what version of the team's gonna show up, and I think that's a good start to the year.
Yeah, I know a couple of the games I was wrong in. I had the Ravens winning last week against the Bills. That ended up being a close game, but I came up short. And then I did try to pick the upset Lions over Green Bay. I didn't know Green Bay was Green Bay, so
Yeah,
came up short there. And then I did pick the Seahawks at home against the 49ers and came up short in that game. So
yeah, and I picked with my heart, picking the Browns over the Bengals, and honestly, I should have hit that one. Yeah,
yes, yeah,
but so when
put
we
an
get into the
asterisk on
week
that
two
one.
picks, we'll see if I made a logical pick this week or I'm staying near and
Yeah.
dear to my heart. So we'll see what we go with there.
Yeah. So yeah, we will see. Those were our picks last week. We finished off 8-6. So still tied right now. And we'll see how we do with these picks that we're about to get into. Our highly anticipated game picks for week two
Hmm.
definitely have some good games this week. We already spoke about the Commanders in Green Bay. But first matchup, we have Rams at Titans. Rams are -5.5 in this one.
Yeah, the Ram the Rams came out and they looked solid last week. Matt Stafford looks to be like his true form, and they just have too many weapons there. And Tennessee last week, Cam Ward making his debut, uh, looked pretty good for his first career start, but nothing really stands out for me with this Tennessee team right now. And so I like the Rams here.
Yeah, yeah, I totally agree. Titans. I think this will be their learning season. Uh, Cam, he has a lot to learn and experience this season, and going up against a playoff contender Rams team. Their offense is elite. They looked good last week, and they'll continue to look look good this week as well. I don't see them having any problems with the Titans. Um, you know, you are going with the Rams, and so am I in this one. Um, and next we have Jags at Bengals. Bengals are -5.5 as well. Bengals, I think that they'll follow up from last week, but they'll have a better showing. I know against the Browns last week, they barely escaped with that win. But this is their first home game of the season, going up against a mediocre Jags team that's trying to find their way. Bengals, they have still have the MVP caliber at quarterback, have one of the best wide receiver tandems in the league. I think that offense is going to get after the Jags. So I'm going with the Bengals in this one.
Yeah, I think this is a great opportunity for the Bengals to bounce back. I mean, the fact that we held them to 7 yards in the second half last week is probably not sitting well with them, because you mentioned Burrow and Chase and Higgins, and there's just too much on that offense. I would actually be willing to take the Bengals probably 7, maybe 7.5 in that game. I just think that offense is going to be way too much for Jacksonville. I like Cincinnati there.
Yeah. Yep. All right. And next is what you have been waiting for.
All right. So last week, I picked the Browns. I said I was looking for a dominating defense, and the defense stepped up. It only came down to a rookie kicker making mistakes. So this week, I think the Browns are going to turn up the defense. They're going to head into Baltimore, and they're probably going to lose this game by about 10 or 13.
Oh,
I know.
I thought you were going somewhere with that one.
No, listen. They this is the most confident 0-1 team I have ever seen in my life right now.
Oh, they're talking a lot.
All these press conferences, like, how hard is it to tackle Derrick Henry? Not hard. He was literally burying Buffalo Bills players on the field last week.
Mm-hmm.
The last 2 years we have split wins with the Ravens, but it's not going to be this week. It's not going to be in Baltimore. I like the Ravens.
Yeah. Everything you said, I agree with. I know the Browns defense is talking a lot this week, but I'm not sure if that's going to help against Henry. So I'm going to go with the Ravens as well. And I do think this will might be a little blowout. Might have to get.
So they could potentially cover that 12.5.
Yeah. I think it. I don't know. That's a. You got to keep your eyes on that one. That might get out of hand.
I mean, the Ravens should be 1-0.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Being up 40-25 against the Bills and losing that game, I think
this is like a lock. They're not going to start the season off 0-2, especially.
There's no way.
Yeah. So, I mean, and next, Bills Jets. Bills look good last week.
Yeah. The Bills looked dead in the water for about 3.5 quarters against Baltimore last week, and man, you just cannot rule out Josh Allen in big games. He finds a way to elevate his play, elevate his team. The Jets, they looked all right against the Steelers yesterday. Justin Fields, made some plays, mostly with his legs again, but Buffalo is just too much of a juggernaut right now for the New York Jets.
Yeah. I agree. I do think, though, that the Jets will keep this game close. This is a divisional game. I think the Jets might have showed us something last week against the Steelers. They almost pulled that game out if it wasn't for a last-second field goal.
Yeah.
I think the Bills, and they're at home this week. I think the Bills will ultimately get the win, but I could see this one being close. Maybe not a runaway in this one, but I am going to go with the Bills as well to get the dub. And then next we have Patriots at Falcons. At Fins. Dolphins. Dolphins is -5.5. It's an ugly one, but what do you think about this one?
I think both of these teams, we were expecting more from both of them week one, especially the Dolphins. We were really going on about Tyreek Hill and the offensive powerhouse they could potentially be. I think they are in a great bounce back spot at home. We talked about Mike McDaniel, probably the most the coach most on the hot seat right now. They did have a players only meeting, so I think they understand
after week one.
A week one players only meeting. So I think they understand that they need to elevate as a team. So I like the
Mhm.
Dolphins here this week at home.
Yeah, so I mean, as for me, I do see this game being close. And with all the turmoil that the Dolphins seem to be in, like you said, the players only meeting, Tua calling out other players, worrying about how much film they're watching. Um, doesn't seem like things are going well in Miami. I mean, I know the Dolphins said they don't have any interest in trading Tyreek Hill and anything, but I'm going to go with the Patriots in this one. I think they have a bounce back game from last week. Seems like the Dolphins are all over the place. I think Drake May rights the ship and gets the Patriots a dub in this one.
Yeah.
So we will see. And then next, we have the 49ers at the Saints. 49ers being -7 in this one. Another big game, another big NFC matchup, but how do you see this one shaping up?
So when we initially made these picks, uh, Brock Purdy was playing. I actually just looked at the spread, and it's actually still San Francisco, but it's -3.
Oh, okay. It's changed a lot.
So it has changed, but if you would have asked me before the season started who my choice was to have the number one pick next year, I would probably say the Saints.
Mm-hmm.
I think with Brock Purdy being out, Mac Jones is probably still the best quarterback in this game. And even with all the injuries, I still think San Francisco has the better football teams. So I like the 49ers in New Orleans.
All right, all right, all right. I see that we are having different ideas two games back to back. So I'm actually going to take the Saints this week. I think that they will upset the 49ers at home. I do think the Saints is one of the worst teams in the league this year, but they can't go 0 well, they could, but they can't go 0-17. So
I've seen it.
yeah. So even though they are, one of the worst teams in the league, I do think that because of 49ers injuries, Matt Jones, he's a okay backup, but I do think that the Saints will do enough to come away with a victory in this one. So I will be going with the Saints.
Okay.
All right. Next, we have Giants at Cowboys. Cowboys -3.5. So for this one, another battle, another NFC East matchup. Cowboys looked okay versus the Eagles last week. They had a long break, didn't play since last Friday against the last Thursday against the Eagles. So had a nice little break to kind of get themselves together. Giants, they had a tough battle versus the Commanders last week. But even though the Giants defense it has improved, their offense didn't look good last week against the Commanders and Cowboys. They still have a solid offense. Defense has some questions, but they looked pretty good against the Eagles. So I'm going to go with the Cowboys winning against the Giants this week.
Yeah, I like I like the Cowboys too. We've talked about it before. The Giants' defensive line is potentially maybe top in the league,
Mm-hmm.
but the Eagles' defense is also one of the best in the league, and the Cowboys were still able to move the ball through the air. Well, they ran the ball pretty well too, but that was without Jalen Carter.
Mm-hmm.
I still do think the Cowboys' offense should be able to overpower that defense, and nothing on the Giants like on the offensive side of the ball is really that much better than anything the Cowboys have defensively.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah. All right, so next we have Chicago Bears at Detroit Lions. Lions -4.5. Ben Johnson homecoming, going back to Detroit. Bears almost had a win last Monday against the Vikings. They came up short, especially in the fourth quarter, kind of gave that game away. And the Lions faced a tough Green Bay Packers team Sunday afternoon. So I do think that the Lions get back on track. I know they're -4.5. It could, be a little worse than that. I can see them probably winning by double digits. I don't see that they'll be losing this game. Detroit is still a very good team in the league. I don't think that the Bears will be able to make those corrections from last week to beat the Lions in Detroit. So I am going to take the Lions in this one.
It's nice that you said the Lions could win by double digits. I'm not seeing it. I think the Ben Johnson homecoming is a great story coming back to Detroit. And I remember seeing a stat somewhere. Jared Goff without Ben Johnson or Sean McVay is like 1-12-1 as a starter. I think, I mean, Jared Goff he's not a superstar, but he's a very capable quarterback in this league. But it just seems like when you take an offensive guru like out of his back pocket, he seems to struggle a little bit. I know the Bears didn't look like too sharp last week. Caleb Williams did most of his work with his legs, which he's not really known for. I don't know. I think all the offensive weapons they've brought in for Caleb, I think they all start clicking a little bit this week. So I like the Bears in Detroit with the upset.
Nice. I like it.
You got to pick an upset every once in a while in days.
Yeah, that's a good one. And next we have Seahawks at Steelers. Steelers -1.5. So I do think that this will be a close game, but I think Aaron Rodgers picks up where he left off against the Jets. He played really good in that game with 4 touchdowns, was really accurate throwing the ball down the field, and they was able to establish that run a little bit. So I'm going with the Steelers at home against the Seahawks.
Yeah, like you said, Aaron Rodgers can still sling that thing around pretty good. I was still never fully sold on Sam Darnold. I know he had a great year in Minnesota the year prior, but I think any decent quarterback is going to be elevated when you're throwing to Justin Jefferson. I don't know. I don't really see Seattle doing a whole lot. I mean, they're going to have a decent year, but they kind of had a rough start to their schedule as well. I like the Steelers at home this week.
All right. And next we have Broncos at Indianapolis. Broncos being -3.5. How do you see this game shaking out?
This was a tough one. I mean, we didn't expect the Colts to look like the Colts they did last week. Daniel Jones out there making all these plays, the offense just steamrolling. But the Broncos, I would put them up there like maybe like top 3 defense in the league
for sure.
Lockdown corners, great safeties. They get pressure on the QB, and I think the real Daniel Jones is going to show up this game. Broncos didn't really look that great last week offensively. I think this isn't a good bounce back spot for them this week.
Yeah, I'm totally with you on this one. Broncos will continue with their good defense and good play this week. Even though the Colts look good last week, this will be a tough matchup against this Broncos team. So I'm going to go with Denver as well. Next we have Panthers at Cardinals. Cardinals is -4.5. Another nasty game. Two teams that don't have high expectations. But what do you see about this one?
Yeah, I thought the Panthers were going to look a little bit stronger than they were, bringing in maybe the best wide receiver in the draft with McMillan to kind of elevate Bryce. but
Hmm.
they didn't really gel last week, and they didn't really look that good as a team. Arizona, uh, the Kyler and Marvin Harrison connection is starting to heat up a little bit. They ran the ball a little bit with James Conner being at home, 4.5 point favorites. I like Arizona this week.
Yeah, I'm with you on this one. I do believe that Kyler Murray has a solid game against the Panthers this week. This is a team that they can kind of get right with, and it is a tough one because I mean both teams aren't that good, but and the Panthers are trying to find their way. But I'm going with the Cardinals at home in this one. Having the Cardinals get a dub in Arizona. And next we have a great matchup. We have
Mm-hmm.
the reigning defending Super Bowl champs, Philadelphia Eagles,
We did.
at Arrowhead going against the Chiefs. Eagles are -1.5 in this one. Should be a great game.
Yeah, the Chiefs' first game at Arrowhead this year. This year, playing in Brazil last week, but we talked about the Ravens and the Browns. Like, there's no way the Ravens are going to start the season 0-2,
Hmm.
and that's how I see the season's going to start for the Chiefs. Uh,
Oh, okay. Chiefs going 0-2.
I would like to call the end to the Chiefs dynasty right now
Mm,
here on the podcast. Uh, no, so this is a Super Bowl rematch, and
mhm.
both of these teams are pretty close to the same rosters as they had last year. I just I don't know. There's just something about the Chiefs this year. It's just uh, they lack star power. They've been getting by with Mahomes, making these crazy plays, and he had a couple last week too, and they still lost that game to the Chargers.
Mhm.
Uh, AJ Brown had one catch for like 8 yards last week in the Eagles' first game, and that is not going to happen again. I know the Chiefs' defense is probably like their strong point right now, but yeah, I don't know. I I see the Eagles winning this game in Arrowhead.
Mm. All right, and I have the Chiefs riding the ship.
Spoken like a true Taylor Swift fan.
Hey, man, congratulations to the Swift family on that engagement. But I do see the Chiefs. I don't think that they're on the downtrend yet. I don't see them being on the decline yet. They're still a good team in the league. The defense is still pretty good, even though they didn't have a good showing against the Chargers. But the Chargers has improved this season. And again, that game was in Brazil. It had a lot of factors in that game, travel, so I think this game being at home, they're going to want to, get back on track, right the ship. They're not going to want to take another L against the Eagles that they did against in the Super Bowl. So I'm going with the Chiefs to
Okay.
get right. Mahomes, he's going to find a way at the end, like he usually does in these big games. So I think he will get a dub in this one. I'm taking the Chiefs.
Okay.
Next, we have the Falcons at Vikings. Vikings being -4.5. Good NFC matchup. So Vikings, they started the game off last week against the Bears, looking a little sluggish. JJ McCarthy was trying to find his way. He finally did in the second half in the fourth quarter. And then you have Atlanta. They played pretty tight against the Bucks last week, and that's the reason why I am going to go with the Falcons this week. They played the Bucks pretty tight. Bucks were really good. If it wasn't for a missed field goal at the end of the game, that game probably could have went to overtime, and it could have had different results. And I know the Falcons, they're sitting their starting kicker this week, Koo, and they're starting, was it Romo? Kicker
Yep.
they picked up this week, Parker
Yep.
Romo. So I'm going with the Falcons this week to get a dub against the Vikings. I think the Vikings still have some things to work on. How do you see it?
Yeah, the Vikings being 4.5 point favorites at home. Uh, yeah, it's kind of crazy. The Vikings won last week. The Falcons lost, and I think the Falcons played a much better game. Like you mentioned, the main reason they lost that game was kicking, and
Mhm.
you know he's out right now. So
Yeah.
the way the Falcons offense was like I think Michael Penix is here. Like the offense didn't really struggle. Uh, the Vikings came back in that second half last week, and everybody's like JJ McCarthy's in the locker room getting fired up after the
Yeah.
game, and like the vibes were up there. The team seems locked in, but I like the Falcons to upset
Yes,
at
sir.
home this week as well.
All right. And speaking about the Bucks, we have the Bucks at Texans this week. Texans being -1.5. This would be a good matchup. The Bucks did play well last week. Texans did pretty okay as well. And let me see. So, and the Bucks are usually known for their defense, but um, I don't know. I'm kind of going with the that offense, kind of giving the Texans some trouble. So I'm going with the Bucks in this game.
Yeah, so them drafting Emeka Ibuka to kind of go along with Godwin and Mike Evans, and then obviously Godwin being out for I don't know, I think to about week 6, I believe.
Hmm.
Emeka Ibuka looks like in
Real deal.
sync with Baker right now.
Hmm.
That is a lot of offensive firepower. Texans lost last week and just never really showed any signs of breaking out. CJ Stroud had a fantastic rookie year 2 years ago. Kind of looked like he started slumping a little bit last year. I mean, I know we're only one game into the season, but he didn't look like he didn't stand out to me at all last week. I think
Yeah.
Tampa Bay heads into Houston and pulls off the upset as well.
All right. And then finishing up the week, we have Chargers at Raiders. Game is on Monday night. So Raiders, I think they're still trying to find their way. I know they have that running game they're trying to establish, but the Chargers looked really, really, really good against the Chiefs. I do think that they'll carry that on this
Yeah.
week on the road. -3 doesn't look like it's enough. I'm definitely going with the Chargers, but how do you see this one going?
Yeah, I was just looking at that -3, and
Mm,
the Chargers just kind of beat up on the Chiefs.
mhm.
Uh, the Raiders are the Raiders. I I don't know who sets these lines, but I think that line should be somewhere like around 5.5, 6.5. I
Yeah.
just I don't know. I don't see this game being close. I I
Mhm.
know I know home field advantage is a thing. Vegas is a rowdy place, but I also feel like people are just going to that game just to go. Like, they might not really necessarily be diehard Raiders fans like you had in Oakland. But
Mhm.
yeah, I don't see this game being as close as they say it's going to be.
Mhm. Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, there you have it. We have some picks that we definitely um have some.
Yeah. And that's what we're kind of going for. We got
Yeah.
our wager for a bottle at the end of all of this.
Hmm.
And
And right now we're still tied right now.
yeah. All right, so yeah, after seeing our picks, if you're watching this and you say like, "Oh man, these guys don't know what they're talking about," or there's picks you agree with, we want to hear from you. Comment below what your picks are and be like, "Oh yeah, if you have something negative to say, like, hey, these guys don't know ball, we want to know about it."
Yep, want to hear that too. Um, Yeah, definitely let us know in the comments. And as always, definitely like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, and
Absolutely.
follow our other pages as well, and hit that notification bell so you know the next time we drop another video or we go live. Are you going live for the Baltimore
I
Browns
will
game?
be live Sunday for the Browns and Ravens game. If we're down 30 at halftime, we might have to shut her down, but
Yeah.
I will be there. Come on over to the EM Sports Show on TikTok for the live stream.
All right. All right. Can't wait. Till next time.
Hey,
Peace.
see you guys.